Bolo Shri Ganesh and Bhagavan ki jai. All will stand and join together and sing in the arti. Om Jai Ganapati Deva. Om Jai Ganapati Deva. Prabhu Jai Ganapati Deva. Vighna Vinashana Swami. Vighna Vinashana Swami. Sukha Sampati Deva. Om Jai Ganapati Deva. Parvati Putra Kahao. Shankar Sukha Swami. Prabhu Shankar Sukha Swami. Gajananda Gananayak. Gajananda Gananayak. Bhagatayandogami. Om Jai Ganapati Deva. Redi Sedi Malika. Oshakaya Savani. Prabhu Oshakaya Savani. Karjoni Vinati Kare. Karjoni Vinati Kare. Ananda Yusavani. Om Jai Ganapati Deva. Prathama aapko puja. Shubha Mangala Data. Prabhu Shubha Mangala Data. Siddhi hoye sab karaj. Siddhi hoye sab karaj. Darinda hat data. Om Jai Ganapati Deva. Sunda Sundala Dunda Dundala Mastaka Parachanda. Prabhu Mastaka Parachanda. Karaj Siddha Karavo. Karaj Siddha Karavo. Kato Sab Banda. Om Jai Ganapati Deva. Ganapati Ji ki आरती जो कोई नर गावे. प्रभु जो कोई नर गावे. दादु कथा भावती. दादु कथा भावती. निज दिन सुख पावे. ओम जय गणपति देवा. गणपति देवा. प्रभु जय गणपति देवा. विघ्न विनाशन स्वामी. विघ्न विनाशन स्वामी. सुख संपत्ति देवा. ओम जय गणपति देवा. ओम जय गणपति देवा. ओम जय गणपति देवा. ओम त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव. त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव. त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव. त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देवा. ॐ शान्ति 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 हरि ओम। बोलो श्री गणेश भगवान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय, सियापति रामचंद्र की जय, जगत जननी श्री दुर्गा माता की जय, बोलो सनातन धर्म की जय। Devotees, you may kindly take your seats. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Narayanang Namaskrityang Naram Chaiva Naruttamam Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Devotees, once again we all gathered here tonight to worship the Supreme Brahman in the form of Shri Ganesh. Before I commence reciting the Katha, we'll ask each and every one to try to picture that beautiful form of Lord Ganesh in your minds as we chant these verses which are dedicated to his worship. Om Asumukha Shaikadantashta Kapilo Gajakarnaka Lambodara Vikato Vigananasho Vinayaka Dumraki Toragana Jacho Bhalachandro Gajanana Dwadashaitani Namani Yapate Trindayadapi Vidyarambi Vivahi Praveshe Nirgami Tata Sangrami Sankati Chaiva Viganata Sanajayati Shuklam Varadaram Devam Shashivaranam Jaturbujam Prasanavadanam Jai Sarvaviko Pashantaye Abhipsiddhartha Siddhyartha Pujito Yasura Surai Sarva Viganaratasmai Ganadipataye Nama Shivatanai Varishtama Sarva Kalyana Murati Parashu Kamalahastam Shobhitam Modakinaha Arun Gosumamala Vyalaya Gyopavitam Mama Hirnai Nivasam Shri Ganesham Namami Vakratunda Mahakaya Koti Sudya Mama Prabha Aviganam Kurumideva Sarvakari Susarvada Viganeshwarai Varadai Surapriyaya Lambodarai Sakalai Jagadvitai Nagananai Shrutiyanya Vibhushitaya Gaudi Sutai Gananath Namo Namaste Bhaktarti Nashana Parayai Ganeshwaraya Sarveshwarai Shubhadai Sureshwarai Vidyadarai Vikatai Javamanaya Bhakta Prasanvaradai Namo Namaste Namaste Brahma Rupaya Vishnu Rupaya Te Namah Namaste Rudra Rupaya Kari Rupaya Te Namah Vishwarupa Swarupaya Namaste Brahmacharine Bhakti Priyaya Devaya Namastubhyam Vinayaka Lambodara Namatubhyam Satatam Modaka Priya Niraviganam Kuru Mideva Sarvakari Susarvada Avahanam Najanami Tavarjanam Pujam Vachaiva Najanami Shamasiti Ganeshwara Bolo Shri Ganeshanda Bhagavan Ki Jai. Those who were present last night would recall when Lord Ganesh was explaining to Raja Varenya about Gyan, about knowledge, about sannyas, and how that individual can reach the highest state by understanding the karma which he performs and the renunciation of the fruits of that karma which he performed. Before we begin tonight, let us join together in the chanting of the Ganesh Stotra. Yato nanta shaktirananta jiva Yato nirgunad prameyad gunasti Yato bhati sarva trida veda vinnam Sadatam Ganesham namamo bhajama Yata shvavira si jagata sarva vitus Tatatapsano Vishwago Vishwagopta Tatindra Dayo Daitya Sannaga Manusya Sadatam Ganesham Namamo Bhajama Yato Vandahivano Bhavarabo Jalancha Yatah Sagaras Chandrama Vyoma Vayo Yatastavara Jangama Vriksha Sangha Sadatam Ganesham Namamo Bhajama Yato Danava Kingnarayaksha Sannagra Yatashtarana Varana Swapadashta Yatapachikita Yato Vidakashta Sadatam Ganesham Namamo Bhajama Yato Bodhera Jnananasho Momoksho Yato Sampado Bhakta Sannatosha Kasyu Yato Vignanasho Yataha Karya Siddhi Sadatam Ganesham Namamo Bhajama Yata Yatra Putra Sampadyo Vanchitarto Yato Bhakti Vidya Tatani Karupa Yata Shoka Moho Yata Kama Iva Sadatam Ganesham Namamo Bhajama Yato Nanda Shakti Sasesho Babova Dharadharani Nikarupo Chashakta Yato Nikada Swarga Loka Yinana Sadatam Ganesham Namamo Bhajama Yato Vedacho Vikunnata Manobi Sadani Tine Titigrayam Granandi Parabrahma Rupam Chedananda Rupam Sadatam Ganesham Namamo Bhajama Yato Nanda Shakti Rananta Sajiva Yato Nirgunada Prameyad Gunasti Yato Bhati Sarva Krida Veda Vinnam Sadatam Ganesham Namamo Bhajama Sadatam Ganesham Namamo Bhajama Sadatam Ganesham Namamo Bhajama Bolo Shri Ganeshanda Bhagavan Ki Jai. We begin tonight with Lord Ganesh saying to Rajavarenya, Idrisham Vedime Tatvam Madagate Tantaratmana Yajatva Mama Sannadigdam Vetasi Mokshaya Sarvaga. When you worship me, O King, put your mind upon me. Let your thoughts be upon me. Know it and accept it in your mind that I am the Lord and Master of this entire universe. And when you accept that, then you will be relieved from this bondage that is called birth and death. Maya sakta mana partha yogamayun janmadashraya asanshayam samagrama mama yata gyasyasi chatrano. It is the very advice that was given by Lord Krishna to Arjuna when he told him in chapter 7 of the Gita, put your mind upon me, Arjuna. Practice what I have taught you. Practice the discipline of this yoga and depend upon me. For I am the one who is worshipped as the universal soul. And knowing it, in the end, you will merge into me. Something wrong with what you do here. Yateham shranu vakshami lokanamita kamyaya astigeyam tayo nanya muktosha sadhanam nipaha. When you look at this wonderful creation, put your trust in it. Put your trust in creation. How are you going to put your trust in creation? How are you going to put your trust in creation? Look at the entire universe. Look at the world on a map. And see how the world is divided. Water falling every day in Niagara Falls. And nowhere to flood. Put your trust in it. I will give the earth enough sunlight to heat it up. I have given the earth the moon to cool it down. Trust my creation. Our problem started when we started to dabble with creation. When we started to change water course. Straighten the river so the water will run out faster. That is the stupidest concept an engineer ever came up with. To straighten a water course. It will do more damage if it's straight. It has no buffer. So, Lord Ganesh is saying, trust my creation. Know of these elements that make up this universe. I have already explained this to you. By knowing them, you would free yourself from the bondage of this world of birth and death. Moktosko sadhanam nipaha. Liberating you from the bondage of birth and death. Astigeyam yato nanya. There is no use, there is no need to know anything else. For the purpose of life, the purpose of being born in the world is to get out of it. And if I am teaching you how to get out of it, what is the need to know anything else? As Lord Krishna had said in the Gita, Jnanamate hammasa vijnanam midamavakshami sheshata yajagyatva neha bhutanyoj gyatavyam avashishyate. This knowledge that I unfold to you, Arjun, I will unfold this knowledge to you in such a way that when you accept it, gyatavyam avashishyate, nothing else remains to be known. There's nothing else you want to know. Now that you graduate from university already, right? Why you want to learn to sing, now I know my ABC? Because Sesame Street say that? Why you want to learn that now? That is of no use to you. That is no interest to you. And if you're lucky and you get married, then hopefully you're going to have a child. If not 2 or 3 or 4 or 7 or 8. My Aja was a good man. He had 15. 12 boys and 3 girls. 1 still alive. Of the 15, 1 still alive. And then, through your luck, having a child now, because you working, husband working, you want to buy a piece of land for $1 million, you want a car for $1 million, and your husband want a car for $1 million. So before you come out the maternity ward, you already accumulate a debt of $3 million. Well, you're hoping when Buru Daddy will leave something for you to build a house, wait for that. So then you have to hire somebody now to mind this child for you now. So when you go in satsang and you ball and jai jagadisha hare whole day, the child singing la kukuracha, ya no prede camina, porque no tiene. You know the next line, right? Marijuana que fumar. That's the next line. We become so mixed up. That is why Ganesh is insisting there is nothing else you need to know. That is why Lord Krishna said that to Arjun, there is nothing else you need to know. Trust what I say to you. Put your faith in me. Go to any home that you know that have a little baby. That's a little baby, a little toddler walking, 2 years old walking. Put that child to stand up on a table. Let the parent put the child to stand on a table and move away. And you tell the child, jump. See if the child will jump. He will never jump. Why? He doesn't trust you. That's the reason he will not jump, because he doesn't trust you. This is what Ganesh is saying. Put your faith in me. Put your trust in me. I will not lead you astray. The same thing Krishna told Arjuna on the battlefield. Trust what I say to you. Geyamat prakriti puravam tatasya jnana gochara tato vijnana samparatir mayi jyate nrinam bhavet. First, you must understand how life come into this world, how this world was created. And then you become part of it. You know why most people drown? They try to swim against the water. Once you swim against the water, you drown. No matter how good you could swim. It's going to pull you down. Go with the flow. He says, understand this. And when you understand this, tata yajagyan gochara, you will understand what pure knowledge is. Knowledge is one thing. Pure knowledge is something else. As I was explaining a few nights ago, when we talk about the meeting of Hanuman and Sita, when according to the Hanuman Chalisa, according to Tulsidas, Ashta Siddhi Navanidike Data Asubhadadina Janaki Mata, that is not a totally true statement. She gave Hanuman the Ashta Siddhi. That is not true. Hanuman already had the Ashta Siddhi. He could have changed the form. When Ram met him in the forest, he changed his form to a human being. So he already had that. Sita saw the colossal form. He already had that. He was able to fly. He already had that. He was able to make himself small. He already had that. He also had buddhi, intellect, sharp, knowledge. He could have think off his foot. So what she did was give him the ability to share that Ashtasiddhi with other people who worship him. That she gave to him. Not the Ashtasiddhi. The ability to share it. Now, Tato Vijnana Sanpatir, when that Vijnan, when that knowledge dawns upon you, then you become intelligent. And when you become intelligent, Mayi Gyate Niram Bhavet, everything will be there at your disposal. Do not misuse it. Let me tell you something. One of the most powerful stotra ever written to Lord Shiva. You know who wrote it? Have any idea who wrote it? Ravan. It's called the Tandava Stotra. Nobody in India up till today could match it or make something in such a way that they could erase the name of Ravan from the history books. You cannot do that. Ravan is the one who put the Tandava Stotra together. And today, with all these scholars they have, none can touch it. And Ravan was a devil in human form. I heard somebody, I went to a yag one night and somebody telling me that when Ram built the Shiva Lingam to go, before he go into Lanka, before he be able to build the bridge, he had to call a Pandit there and he called Ravan to do it. I said, listen, what you smoking, you need to stop smoking that immediately. You cannot be that stupid. Why would Ram call Ravan from Lanka and puja him and then go in Lanka and kill him? Come on, man, how stupid you could be. How stupid you could be. Lord Shiva himself had said in the Ramayana, when he was explaining to Sati who Ram was, So imama Ishtadeva Raghubira. That is my Ishtadev. Ram is my Ishtadev. And Ram says to Lakshman, Shiva is my Ishtadev. You don't need a Pandit to worship your Ishtadev. That's something you do in your own private moments. You don't need a Pandit for that. So if Shiva is the Ishtadev of Ram, why would Ram call Ravan? Come on. Come on. He says, Ganesh says, Tattva Vijnana Sampatir Mayi Gyate Niram Bhavet. Everything will be at your disposal. As Bhagavan Shri Krishna told Arjun, Manushyanam Sahasreshu Kashidatati Yasedyati Yatatama Piseddanam Kakshinamam Veti Tatvataha. Thousands of people are going to strive. You have any idea how much chelas I have? You have any idea? You don't have a clue. Think you have any idea how much of them I trust with my life? The answer is zero. I trust none with my life. None. Because if it comes to the crunch, and 2 hours drunk in, and you get a chance to save yourself, you could think I the Baba and you go save me and you go drunk? Yeah, you believe that. You continue believing that. That's not going to happen. So everybody fend for themselves. What Ganesh is saying, I am making everything available to you for your benefit. Lord Krishna said, of the thousands of people who strive, only one will be truly devoted and only one will know who am I. He didn't criticize the 9,999. He said, no, they will continue to strive. but one will hit the nail on the head. Kakwan lau kamahamakara kamachitam dhasi sadino ravindo yoga tricheka dashada prakriti mama. The elements that make up the 5 elements: fire, pride, what is called Hawan Samagri. Everybody like to buy this little box of Hawan Samagri and do Hawan with it. You know what is one of the most, what is the key ingredient in all Hawan Samagri? Flowers. You don't believe that? When you're dead, don't burn flowers. You got to take out the flowers. Don't tell Vikram that. Tell them, idiot and them that, not me. And I'll explain something to you tonight. So wait, Mark, tell her what they say. Pache katha sunaya manalave Jabalagi Chandra Udaya Kariyave Chanada Arda De Kareya Pranama Kare Bisarjana Punna Sukadata. Did the Ganesh Puran everybody read it? No? This one says, after listening to the Katha with complete devotion until the moon rises. The moon rises 6 hours after sunset. That makes it roughly midnight. Then you offer dhar in honor of Lord Ganesh. You offer a dhar to Chandrama and bow to the moon. And then you do Visarjan. Then you send Amurti down in the sea. So all who do it today, last week, they're still wrong. No matter what you say, it's going to never be right. I don't care what you tell me. You're going to never be right. All the months that Ganesh is worshipped, one of the key ingredients in that worship in the Hawan is flowers in the fire. Agahana masa chauta jaba awe, bhatakataya ke pula mangawe, grita se ho makarei sutapawe, ripunasha kaduka nikata napawe. In the month of Margashish, get the flowers from what is called the Bhatkatiya and perform Hawan with it. Next month say, use lotus flowers. The next month say, use kaneer, oleander. Every month tell you use flowers and do Hawan. Use flowers and do Hawan. But when you're dead, don't put none in the box. Because flowers is for puja. Where you get a stupidness from? Right? Women can't do the rites when you're dead. All you have common sense on YouTube. I don't have that. Common sense, yes. YouTube, no. Go on punching in YouTube. Atal Bihari Vajpayee, former Prime Minister of India when he died. Who did the rites and circle the fire and light the fire? A woman. And he was never even married. He adopted her when he was in his heyday. And she performed the rites for him. And you have plenty of fools here saying, woman can't do the rites, woman can't do the rites, woman can't do the rites. I would love somebody to tell my daughter the day I died, she can't do the rites for me. It go have more than one funeral that day. Because she's going to lick down one of them. I know what I'm telling you. She won't buy into that rubbish. Don't mislead people, because Manushyanam Sahasreshu, thousands of people going to strive, but only one is going to get through. You see, the senses, the elements, those who performed all rituals, these 11 things, the earth, fire, space, pride, Hawan, intellect, senses, air, sun, moon, and rituals, these are the 11 forms of my creation. They all have to do with me. Anyamat prakritim brinda munaya sangiranticha tatadri veshtapan vyaptam jivatvam gatayanaya. The aged, the old people, and the great yogis, they have narrated this. This was handed down from grandfather to son, then to grandson, then to great-grandson, generation after generation. And everything that was handed down, Munaya Sangarirantachaha, the rishis and the munis confirmed it to be the truth. that the individual soul, tatatri vivishthatana vyaptam, when that individual soul comes to the earth and it goes to the celestial regions, whichever way it goes when it departs from here, all these are connected to me. All are connected to me. Abhyam utpajate sarvam characharamayam jagat gangadveva shasanabhayati paritranam layopyaham. Through the Sapta Rishis, they assisted in bringing about this creation. It wasn't a one-man job. By associating, O king, with the ancient, with the old people, with the wise people, with the intelligent people, associating with them, you will begin to understand what this life is about on earth. And when you understand, Sangidashvasya sambhavate paritrana labhetaham, you will understand that the person who sustains this universe, the one who creates the universe, and the one who dissolves the universe is one and the same person. It's not somebody different. Lord Krishna said, Etadyoniti bhutani saravane yopadharaya aham kritnasya jagata prabhava pralayastata. All creatures, all life evolve. Everything changes. There's only one creature in the 8,400,000 living species that has never evolved. Just as it appeared in creation, it is still the same way today. Identical to the first one. Which one it is? I already tell you tonight what it was, you know. Make a guess, you'll guess right. La cucaracha, la cucaracha. The cockroach, it never evolved. It remained the same way as it was created. It's the only one in the 8,400,000 living species that never changed. The cockroach. So important he is. Important Greece. All creatures evolve through nature. Know it. Aham kritsam manas jagata. I am the source. Everything originates from me. Prabhava pralayastataha. And everything dissolves back into me. Tattvame tannivodamame yatate kashti dehabret varnashram vatamapunsam puramachirana nakarmana. The householder is the one who has been given the responsibility to support this dharma. Nobody else supports the dharma. A sannyas is a man who will walk away from dharma. He leave everything. A man who's semi-retired, he walk away. And a student, what a student know about supporting dharma? Nothing. So the responsibility falls on one person, the householder. And he, the householder, through the karma that he performs, he understands. And when he understands, he makes that effort to go a little further and a little further and a little further. And when he falls short by what is called death, whoever he leaves behind picks up the mantle and tries to carry it further and further and further. And eventually, amongst the thousands, one will hit it right. When that one hits it right, he liberates all those of his ancestors who had made the effort and fall short. Let me give you a good example of that. When there is Shivratri, everybody like to talk about a story about the hunter man on top of a tree. Every life form in that forest got liberation except he. And he see Lord Shiva face to face. And Lord Shiva refused to give him liberation. He says, you have committed too much of sins. I cannot liberate you. He said, what's going to happen to me? He said, all your ancestors are also sinners. I cannot help them. You have to stay back. And stay back until Treta Yuga comes in. And that Supreme Brahman, by the name of Sri Ram, will come upon the earth. and you will meet Sri Ram face to face. Wash the foot of Ram and drink that water. By washing the foot of Ram, by drinking the water, you would liberate yourself and you would liberate your ancestors for all the wrong they have done. You ever wash my foot and drink the water? The day you do that, I'll lick you down with something. I put a bucket in your head. Or something. Are you mad? This is not the age for that, partner. I ain't washing nobody's foot and drinking that water. I don't care who you are. I am not doing that. No book could show me that. Although Valmiki wrote it beautifully when he says, Padapakada yadune charanamrit harashitanam kahai kevat bhagya kadani devagana sumana brishti charalai. That the Devatas were saying how lucky is Kevat that he got the opportunity to wash the foot of Ram and drink the water. They were raining flowers on him. They didn't know why he was doing it. When you wash the foot and drink the water, it's to liberate your ancestors. It has nothing to do with you. You can liberate your ancestors from the little bit you know about them. God can liberate them. You tell me about you drinking water. What happened to you, man? Nobody is selling me that story, partner. None. Going to sell me the story where I need to wash a man's foot and drink the water. Nobody could sell me that story. I consider my father to be a damn good pundit. Trust me. His guru was a man from India. And he never do that. Never. He allow you to wash your foot. And then he give you the water in a little katora. And he tell you, go in the house and sprinkle it in all your rooms. Because there are certain rooms in a house where guests cannot go. Pundit or no pundit, if there's a certain place in your house, he has no right to be there. So sprinkle the water there. It will give you the satisfaction that he has entered your whole home. That is what you could do. But don't tell me about wash. You, boy, look. Manushyanam sahasreshu kakshiradati yasedyati yatatama pisiddanam kakshinamam veti tatvataha. And the one who realizes who am I, such an individual is very rare in this world. Very rare that's going to happen. Sakshat karoti ma kashir yatnavasya pite chusha matatanya nakshetra kim chinamayi sarava vikshati. One, recognizing that I am the eternal Brahman, they will see nothing else in this world. They will see that Supreme Brahman in every living thing that exists. They will see it in everything. And they will see the universe within themselves. Such an individual is very rare. Matta parataramananyat kakshinadasti dhananjaya mayi sarvam idam aprotam sotra manigano yiva. In chapter 7 of the Gita, Lord Krishna was explaining to Arjuna that there is nothing in this world except me. And Arjuna says, how is that possible? Look at what people I'm seeing. He says, we are all the same. We are all strung together like beads. I am the string that's holding it together. And the day you sever that string, then everybody fall and scatter. But there is really only one. Every life form, Sutra Manigino Ivaha, every life form that exists in this universe, Mayi Sarava Midama Proktam, they all depend upon me. Chittakshodhandarupena Tejarupena Chagnisho Pramadupena Pushamjo Rasarupena Chapsuchaha. Through the sweet fragrance. You ever use a brushing cutlass in your life? What time of the day does cut that lawn? What time of the day? The morning is not a time of the day. What time of the day does do that? 4 or 5 in the morning does do that. So when you swing that blade, that scent that you get from that grass, you don't ever get it no other time in the day except that time. That fragrance that comes from the earth, the glow, when you light fire, when you look at the brightness of the sun and the moon, the only thing that has no taste in the world is water. When you get that taste of water, I exist in it. Certain water have a different taste, but rainwater have a different taste no matter what you do. And if you have it in a coal tar barrel, all the better. Poor fella maybe know it's a coal tar barrel. Yeah. Go brave. Raso hamapsu kaunteya prabhasmesha shisuriyayo pranava sarava vedeshu shabdake paurusham nishaho. As Lord Krishna had said, I am the water. I am the glow of the sun and the moon. I am that mantra, pranava, om. I am the sound in space. And I am ke purusham nishu. I am the strength that exists in human beings. Detapo balinam chaham, destapo balame cha, trivedesho vikaresho, samutpananesha stitaha. Those rishis and the munis who have become very strong, very intelligent, their senses, their power, I exist in them. Whatever they have done in life, O Rajavarenya, they have done it in such a way to uphold humanity. Humanity must benefit from what they have acquired in a lifetime. He says the three defects that exist, they were created by me also. And although they were created by me, they were created for a reason. And the reason is, when you make the effort to realize God, somewhere along the road, you're going to do something stupid. And when you do that, one of the defects are there. One of the obstacles are there to push you back. And it pushes you back until you are really ready to cross that hurdle. Nobody cannot carry you over that hurdle. I've heard many people say, many people have written in books that when they were about to die, they see all their ancestors trying to hold their hand and bring them over. Really? Really? Okay. Let me assume I live a perfect life. Let me assume that, for God's sake, I live a perfect life. And my day reached the dead. And my grandfather was a criminal. And he in hell, with a pukni blowing fire. He going to stretch out his hand to reach me, to bring me over, to carry me where? With a pukni to blow? Lay he stay right there. He coming for me and I going with him. Aye be akela, jai be akela. You come alone and you go alone. Don't worry with that. Don't worry with that. James, written by a man they call James Van Prague, Talking to Heaven. That's the name of the book. He said the ancestors just come and greet you. Really? Okay. That's some of my ancestors I didn't want to know. I have some uncles. I disowned them since the day I born. I really don't want he put out his hand and bring me over, to be honest with you. You understand? Don't buy into them thing. Life is about you, nobody else. The bhajan says, Mata Pita Sutta Nadi Bhai. What's the other line? Anta Sahayata Nahi. Mother, father, children, brother, nobody. In the end, is you alone. No mother ain't going to go with you on the creek. No son ain't going with you. No wife ain't going with you. And no husband ain't going with you. You're going alone. As the rhyme of the ancient mariner said, alone, alone, and all alone, alone on a wide, wide sea. Never there was a man to pray for a wretched soul like me. Day after day, we stuck no breath, no motion. As idle as a painted ship upon a painted ocean. Water, water everywhere, and all the boards did shrink. Water, water everywhere, not any drop to drink. He was in the sea. You don't drink salt water. And then you realize you're alone. Lord Krishna said in chapter 7, Bejamamam sarava bhutanam videparta sanatanam bodhira buddhamatamasmi tejas tejas vinamaham. I am the seed that exists in every life. I am the intelligence of the man who is intelligent. And to those who by their actions have become glorious, tejas tejas vinamaham, know that that glory is me. Not them, it's me. People have a strange thing that they say. If you buy the lotto ticket, you ever buy a lotto ticket? Right. Let me assume you win the 20 million. Who win it? You win it. But when you lost your horse gambling, God had to take the blame for that? Okay. But when you win is you win. But when you lose is somebody make you lose. It don't work so. Namam vindati papi nanmaya mohita chetasa trivikara mohayati prakritim me jagatrayam. Through this maya, this illusion, the wandering soul, the wandering mind, the wandering senses do not recognize me. They do not recognize me. Through the three gunas that were created, Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic, in my creation of the three worlds, they become lost souls. Because they allow themselves to be manipulated by people. Let me tell you something. When I started to do Pandita young, they sent me by 2-3 old Pandits to learn. Only to realize I knew more than them. Them, they know nothing. They were just old. Recently, a Pandit told me that he's a senior Pandit. I said, let me explain something to you. You have any idea what the difference between a senior citizen who is a Pandit and a senior Pandit? You are a senior citizen who became a Pandit. You're not a senior Pandit. You're a senior citizen. And sad to say, this country only have 2 senior Pandit. Only 2. 56 years experience. Vickramaditya Maharaj and Haridev Prasad. I 1 month senior to he. I started on the 2nd of May, he started on the 3rd of June. The same year. Anybody else who claim they're in that group, they lie. Right, putting it nicely. The real answer, I can't say it from a singhasan. Anybody could say anything they want to say. But they have no proof for it. Both of us have the proof. Chapter 7, verse 12 of the Gita. Krishna was saying to Arjuna, Ye chaiva satvika bhava rajasastamashashtaye matata eveti tanavidya na tvam teshu nate mayi. All lives evolve from me, born of the gunas. They bring that with them. I do not exist in them, and they do not exist in me. If God exists in every life form that He has created, the man who pulled the trigger and killed them 4 children in Arima, God existed in He too, you know. You really expect me to buy that story? Not Vikram. If you break in my house, any hour of the day or night, and you think Vikram going to say, Siya Rama Maya Sab Jagajani Karahu Pranam Jodi Jugapani. That ain't going to happen. Poya, going to talk first. And that is a river. It named Tree Canal. It's sharp. Trust me, it's sharp. And you see no ram in you, partner. You break in my house, you ain't come there to pray. You understand? You come to do damage to me. My religion. You ever watch boxing on TV? What do the referees tell you before the match starts? The 2 boxers. I have given you your instructions in the dressing room. Protect yourself at all cost. If the fella drop his hand, cuff him down. Protect yourself. So don't tell me about see God, all are we is one family. I don't buy that story, my friend. Nobody could prove that to me. We are all creations of the same God. That might be true. But the path we have chosen is different. That don't make us one. We're not going to be one. You think the fellow who went to work the morning in the Twin Tower knows his own family was flying that plane into the Twin Tower to kill he? He didn't see no Siya Rama Mai Sabajagajani, you know. He went there to kill. You ever saw a movie called The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly? You see that movie? But go and watch it on YouTube. What's the famous line in that movie? When you come to shoot, don't talk. Don't lecture to me. If you come to kill me and go. The same thing he says. Born of the gunas. Evolve from me. I do not exist in them, Arjun, and they do not exist in me. Again in chapter 9, verse 4. Maya tatamidam sarava jagadabhyakta murtina matstani sarava bhutani nachahamate shavastitaha. This entire universe is permeated by me, but I am not exist in everything. I do not exist in everything. So when people preach this misconception that God is here, there, and everywhere, the scriptures say that is not true. God not there, here, there, and everywhere. He is where He is wanted. Somebody wrote me a nice letter from prison that they have been arrested and charged for murdering their husband. And they wanted me to come to the prison and teach them to do the Gita Dhyan. I say, brother, here, I say, lady, let me tell you something. That ain't going to happen. Never went. I'm not going there. Again, verse 5 he says, Nachamatstani bhutani pashyame yogameshwaram bhuta brinanja bhutasto mamatma bhuta bhavana. Looking at this wonderful creation. Let me tell you something. You ever see a pyramid? A fantastic thing to look at, you know. Water falling from the Niagara Falls is a fantastic thing to see, you know. Pitch Lake, fantastic thing to see, you know. And you still don't believe it has something outside there greater than me and you? If I tell you, you know the scriptures have spoken about a man named Noah. Noah and the ark is a famous story. If I tell you Noah was a Trinidadian, would you believe it? You laugh, boy. According to that scripture, when Noah built the ark, it had a leak. And he stick the leak with pitch. And the only place in the world that had pitch then was Trinidad. So who was Noah? I could bring the page and show you it. You never believe me, I will show you it. He was a Trinidadian. Only a Trinidadian could have come up with the idea he come up with. Nobody else. Yo me tatvam bijanati mohamatya jati sokilam anaika janma vishweva gyatva mamuchyati tataha. Discard the 3 obstacles that I spoke to you about a little while ago. Greed, anger, hatred. Give up those 3 obstacles. And to give up those 3, it will take you aneka janma, hundreds of lives, to go through. Because the mistakes you make, let me ask you a question. You know, you ever mind duck? Okay. Anybody who mind duck will tell you, as a duck hatch, the first place that young one does go is in water and swim. First place. Who teach him to swim? Who teaches a baby that is now born to suck the mother breast to get milk? Prakriti. Nature. It means that whatever that child does at birth, he was already a child before. And he knows what to do. How does a deer in the jungle, on the African plain, the first thing that deer does from the moment he hit the ground is get up and run like hell, because it has somebody out there who see he has breakfast. Who teach him that? The mother teach him to run? You believe that. Nature. Here it says, when you give up these things through the cycle of many births, then you will get to understand me. Gyatva mam munaye tataha. And then you become liberated from the cycle of birth and death. It's something we go through trial and error. Let me give you a little story. My son has never seen my father take a shower. Never. And my father had a way he used to wrap a towel around him. And there's a way he used to lean up over the sink when he brushing his teeth. My son does it identical. And he has never seen that. How we know that? When I tell you identical, I mean identical. Eh? He holds the toothbrush the same way. Those who have been around my father will know one of the things he hated the most was somebody to touch him. He hated people who touch him. My son is the same way. Don't touch him. How he know that? He's an old soul. The day he was born, my father described him as an old soul, locked into that body. When he was 2 years old, my mother described him as a professor. He is destined to be a professor. Nobody tells a 2-year-old child they're going to be a professor. Today he is. In the most complicated field in medicine. You bring it with you. When you have gone through the cycle of many births and many births, you bring some of those traits with you. And these traits grow with you. And when you fall short, you go back into the birth and death and you come back again. And you come back again and you come back again. And he has perfected things. Things that has happened to him in his lifetime was not supposed to happen when it happened. When he did a PhD in medicine, he wasn't qualified to do the PhD yet. And yet they allow him to do it. And it's only when he graduated with the PhD they realize, hey, how this happened? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Nothing that you and I could do in this world is planned. Nothing is planned. Somebody up there planned it for you. And that is what the both Gitas are teaching us. In chapter 7, verse 14 of the Gita, Daivi Hyesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mameva me prapadyante Maya te tararantite. It is difficult to cross this Maya. Only those who worship me will cross it. My son is a fanatic when it comes to Durga Puja. When I tell you fanatic, I mean fanatic. Fanatic Durga. It doesn't mean he wouldn't do anything else. It doesn't mean that, but that is his calling. When he was 8 years old, when my father died, the night of the wake, says, it had some Ramayana scholars come to read the night. And I started to choke my son. But where they get a stupidness in the Ramayana from this, that. And he picked me up on it and I back off. And them old fellas pick him up. When he finished, none they open the book, they leave and they gone. An 8-year-old tie up all of them on the Ramayana. He was only 8 years old. So you bring that with you, says. You bring it with you. I've always said that. You bring those qualities with you. And then you have to now create the environment for that quality to grow. You cannot stifle it. You cannot stifle that. Anybody who wants to hold the children and hold on to them forever, you have a clue the damage you're doing. Let them go. A child is like a bird in your hand. If you hold him too tight, you will kill him. And if you hold him too slack, he's going to escape. Let him go on his own merit. Just keep that line of communication open. Let them go. That is what the Gita is teaching us. When the individual worships me, I am the one who brings him back into this world, Maya me titarantite, and give him all the tools that he needs to cross this ocean of birth and death. Anyena navida devan bhajante nanya brajantite yata yata mate makretva bhajate mam jano kilaha. There are many different ways of worshiping me. If you ask my wife what chapter in the Gita she like, something totally different to me. If you ask my daughter what chapter she likes, she'll give you a different one. If you ask my son, he will give you a different one. And if you ask me, I have one idea. I stick to that, thy kingdom come. Everybody have it different. Does it mean we pray to somebody else? Here, the Ganesh Gita is saying, by the different methods, people worship the devatas for specific reasons at specific interval in their lives. For different reasons we worship. That worship is accepted. Even though they have chosen different names, different forms, in the end, bhajate mam jano kilaha, they are worshiping me through a different form. Like I give you the reference about the transformer. A transformer has 33,000 volts inside it. When you build your house, it's there you're getting the current from. But you're not going to get 33,000 volts in your house. You will melt away. So you have to break it down and break it down and break it down. And they break it down when it reaches your house twice. By putting a ground on the outside and a breaker on the inside. In the event that it skips the ground outside, the breaker will stop it. And if the breaker doesn't stop it, I be akela, jai be akela. You will blow up and dead inside it. Systems are put in place to block and to prevent. In the same way, they truly worship me, but their level of understanding cannot bring them up to me. So they choose to worship me through a different form, not fully understanding that the form they have chosen to worship sends that worship to me. I send the blessing to the form that you have chosen, and then that form shower the blessings upon you. The one that you choose to worship becomes the middleman. Only through many cycles of birth and death you will be able to put the middleman aside and deal direct with the source. Kameste hritagyana prabhadyante nyadevata tamatam niyamamasthaya prakrita niyata swayaha. Those who worship the devatas, prompted by their own nature, and they stick to that because they believe that and they believe everything else wrong. One person tell me Hinduism is so stupid that we just pray to the sun before we pray to the father. Ganesh first and then Shiva second. I say, brother, here what's going on? You write your own books. You is a scholar. You understand? That level of ignorance, you could correct that? I wish you all the best. They will start to lose their wisdom because they hold on to material things. Tata tata swam tamabhavam pujayam yanamevatam ahamasaravam vijanati mamana kashdati buddhaye. Whatever worship you perform, it comes to me. And I am the one who fulfills the wishes, the needs of my devotees. He says, Aham saravana janami. I know every life form in this world. Mamana kasjati buddhaye. But very few life forms in this world knows who I am. Lord Krishna said, Yo yo yam yam tanumabhata shradaya chetu me chati tasya tasya chalama shraddha tameva vididamyaham. Whatever form you choose to worship, Arjun, I am the one who gives you that stability that you need. I am the one who gives you the faith that you need. And I am the one who watches over you even though you think you're praying to somebody else. Let me ask you a question. Materially, forget God. In a material world, which name of God is more powerful, Ram or Krishna? Think about it for a few seconds. Avyaktam avyaktima pananam navidu kama mohita naham prakashatamayami ajnanam papa karmanam. Those who have what is called avyaktam, that secret form, through their desire, they do not know who I am. And I am not present in the heart of ignorant people. I am not present in the heart of sinners. Naham prakasha saravasya yoga maya samabritaha modo yamna bijanati loko majamamabhyayam. Hidden by Maya, I do not manifest myself to all. All not going to see me. The ignorant or the fool who fails to recognize me fails to recognize that Lord who is birthless and that imperishable supreme will continuously push himself into that pit which is called birth and death. You ready to answer me now? Which one of the name you think greater? Please, give it a shot. Pick one of the two, you might guess right. You're wrong. Ram. The name of Ram is most powerful. Serious. Even when you die, who named you the chant when they carry you on the creek? Ramanam. That is in the foolish world I'm talking about. In reality, none. Both are the same. But there is no mantra to equal Ram. That name alone. You don't need to put a Om in front of it. You don't need to put Nama in the back of it. Just that name alone. It transcends every single thing. The last mantra we chant before we cremate you is Ram. And when we don't cremate you, then we talk about Krishna. And then we talk about his specialty. Krishna, what we call the Pandit special. Dan Kare cow. That is special. Cow posing for picture now. He raise up his foot and he posing with a banana in his mouth. I will show you the picture. I will show you that picture. Man renting cow for Dan Kare now. This is where we reach. That is where we reach. And most of the pundits who preach in this rubbish, living in condominium. You see a big thing on YouTube. So today somebody showed me it. 200 people doing Ganesh Puja and Arti, and everybody stand up with their phone with the light on and they're doing Arti from where they is. That is where we reach. Says, let me tell you something. One crime I never commit is to kill somebody. But they're pushing it. They're pushing it. That is where you take Sanatan Dharma and make people stand up 50 feet away from a murti and do arti. Right? One of these days when I go to puja, somebody go shock me and say, Bab, you bring the machine? One machine for me to swipe the card so you get that wire direct to your account. Let me give you the good news. I have no bank account. I have none. That is the truth. I have a bank account. Pay me. Give me my money in my hand, man. I mean, that is the mockery we do into this religion. That is the damage we are doing to it. Irreparable damage. That damage cannot be fixed again, you know, says. And they boldface, they put up that on YouTube. You know how much donkey all over the world going to see that? Right? You have two fellas in India eating beef Sunday morning. Eating beef Sunday morning. And Sunday night, Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha Deva, Mata Bhati Parvati, Pita Mahadeva. He gets Shakti. Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Khan. I'm not saying that off the top of my head, my friend. I am telling you what is there. That is what we do to this Ganesh celebration. Oh, Fet. Utsav. Utsav means Fet. To anybody celebration Ganesh Utsav, celebrating Fet. And we have one religious leader who can't say Utsav. He does say Ustav. He's a German. Ganesh Ustav. Total mockery. I'm not into that line of fire, my friend. I'm not into that line of fire. I've always said, I've never gone to a cemetery and see a tombstone mark. What's your name? Rohan what? Buru? Rohan Buru. Born so-so, dead so-so day. He's singing 65 Ramayana, 302 Bhagavad, 44 Shiv Puran. They don't mark that, you know. They mark your date, birth, date, death, rest in peace. That's it. So, what you think about me, to have no consequences to what my life is going to end up. He said, Moro yamna bijanati loko mana jamabhyayam. Those ignorant and foolish people going to mislead nations. Nations going to be misled. By the stupidness that you're doing under the banner of Sanatan Dharma. Yasmrita tyajya pranam manate masadayan vitaha sayatya punarabrittim prasada mamayabo buje. I say to you, over India, at the appointed time, sit peacefully, sit quietly, think about me, meditate upon me, and let this body go. Let it go. Give it up. That is going to happen to all of us, whether you want to go or not. And through my blessings, through my mercy, you will get liberation. Yam yam deva smarana bhatya tyajate swam kalevaram tatatat salokamayati tadada bhaktya naradipaha. With true devotion, those who worship the devatas, thinking about them, when they depart from this world, through that devotion, they will attain the abode of the devata whom they were worshipping. Not heaven. There is no word in Sanatana Dharma called heaven. And there is no word that called hell either. It's called Narak. And it is called Swargalok. Swargalok is not heaven. Lord Krishna said the same thing in the Gita. Yama yama vapi smarana bhavam tajjante kalevaram Tam tame vaiti kaunteya sadatara bhava bhavitaha. Whatever you think about in this world, Arjun, at that final moment, at the time of what is called death, that is what you will become. Whatever you think about. Atashcharahi nashana bhupa ramate vyokarapavan saraveshamapyahamagamya stotrava paranayo yataha. At all the different forms of mind, it is the duty of devotees of God to think of one of these forms. Always remember one thing, O king. Just as the rivers flow into the ocean, it never flows back from the ocean into the river. They all merge into it. In the same way, while singing my praises, singing the praises of the devatas and everybody, you all merge back into one. Although you have chosen a different road. You might choose a different road, but the destination is the same. Brahma Vishnu Shivendrayam Loka Prapya Punapatit Yo Mamupaitya Sanadigda Patanamatasya Na Kvachit. By worshipping Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, Lord Indra, all the devatas, you journey to their abode. You will enjoy all the good that you have done, but then you come back into the cycle of birth and death. And when you come back into the cycle of birth and death, the only means to escape birth and death is to merge into the Supreme. There is no other way. If you do not merge, you will continuously come. Yanti deva brata devan pitriyanti pitri brata bhutani yanti bhuteja yanti madhyajinopimam. Those who worship the devatas become one with the devata. Those who worship the ancestors will become an ancestor. Those who worship the pitris will become a pitri. Those who worship evil will become evil. And those who worship the Supreme Brahman, they become one with the Supreme Brahman. Ananya Sharano Yomam Bhakta Bhajati Bhumipa Yogaksheme Chatasayaham Saravada Pratipadaye. Those who surrender to me, O King, sing in my praises. I am the one who will bring happiness to them. For this reason, worship me. There are many hymns, there are many astutis to glorify Lord Ganesh. Find one that you like and go with it. Find one and go with it. One of the research I have done on Ganesh, see there's a mantra everybody will say, Vakratunda Mahakaya. You know that mantra? What's the next line? Tell me, man. Vakratunda Mahakaya. What's the next line? Surya Koti. Have nothing called Surya Koti. Have nothing called Surya Koti. If you don't understand the language, don't go and say it. Surya Koti and Koti Surya means two totally different things. It's Vakratunda Mahakaya, Koti Surya Samaprabha. Not Koti, not Surya Koti. Koti Surya. Millions of sons, not sons of millions. The word sons of millions don't even make sense if you write it. You have the glory of sons of millions. And you have the glory of millions of sons. Which one you feel correct? Not millions of sons? So then Koti Surya correct. Surya Koti wrong. One pundit tell me, the two write the same way, so it means the same thing. I say, in your book, it means the same thing. In the real world, it doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that at all. Those who surrender to me with that devotion, singing my praises, I will always bring happiness to my devotees. For this is the method that they should choose to adopt. That method of worship that brings happiness and peace to them. Vivida Gatiyaru Deshta Shukla Krishna Niram Nipaha Ekaya Paramama Brahma Parayayati Yasanstrimi. O King, I say to you that the month is divided into two parts. One is called the bright half of the month, one is called the dark half of the month. There is a reason for that. In one half of the month, people come into this world. And in the second part of the month, people who depart from the world don't come back. they get liberation. There's a reason for that. If that is not true, let us assume that is not true. Then why would Bhishma get shot in December and wait until the 14th of January to give up his body? He waited, That's the bone he had. He will die only when he chooses to die. So why he choose to lie down and then bear an arrow and suffer and bleed for a whole month before he choose to die? Because of that. He waited until the time when the sun swung into the northern direction. Maga makaragata ravi jab hoi तीरथ पत ही ये आव सब कोई देव दनुज किंग नर नर श्रेणी सादर मज जही सकल त्रिवेणी. That is what Makar Sankranti is about. Not Makar Sankranti. It's Makar Sankranti, not Sanskranti. If you can't say it, just shut your mouth and don't say it. Say that 14th of January, I'll leave it there. When the sun enters into the Tropic of Capricorn, Maga Makaragata Ravija Bahoi, Tirata Patahi Awasabakoi, everyone journeys to that place of Tirat. Deva Danuja King Naranara Shreni, the Devatas, humans, Rakshas, everybody. Sadara Majajahi Sakala Tribeni. They all take a bath in that place where the three rivers meet. It's called the Triveni. If you check from the NASA satellite in space, it is the largest religious gathering on the face of this earth, Makar Sankranti. The largest. On the satellite in space pick up the crowd. 60 million people. And what would 60 million people be doing in that place? Brahmani Rupana Dharma Vidhi Barana Hitatva Vibhag Kahe Bhakta Bhagavanta Ki Sanayuta Jnana Virag. That they will meet and have discussion. Who is Brahman? What is the form of God? Barana Hitatva Vibhag. What are the rules that govern Sanatana Dharma? What it is like to work and accumulate so much wealth. And in the end, give up everything and merge into God. That is what 60 million people will be doing every year. Every year they go and do it. Every 12 years they do it. And in the Mahakumbh Mela, every 100 years. So if you're lucky and you live 40-something years again, nah. "45 years from today will be the Mahakumbh Mela. Once every 100 years that does come. So in 45 years' time, we will all meet there. If you're not there, well, tough luck. That is what it is about. He says to free yourself from this cycle of birth and death. Worship God. Worship God sincerely. And by worshiping God sincerely, in the end, you will become one with that Supreme Brahman. Bolo Shri Ganesh and Bhagavan ki jai. Many years ago, my father had a bhajan he used to sing. Many, many years ago. And for some strange reason, I kept looking for it. Can't find it in a book. Cannot find it. And every yagya that he did, he sang it. And he took out one word from it every time. Every year. Short little bhajan, a cappella. Kabatun japa gananam re manava. Kabatun japa gananam. When am I going to get the opportunity to chant the name of Lord Ganesh? Balapana sab khel gavayo. Balapana sab khel gavayo. Jwani ne ja Beya kam re manava Dwani ne ja Beya kam. In childhood, I was doing what them two children are doing right now. Running and playing and making noise. All children do that. Then when I became a young man, I became overpowered by wife and lust and all them things. Briddha ye bodha kapan lagyo Briddha baye tan kapan lagyo Latakan lagyava chamre manava Latakan lagyava cham. Briddha baye, when old age came, Kapanalagyo, the body started to tremble for itself. Latakanalagya na charm. I depended upon a stick to keep me stable. Lati te kacho layamaraname. Lati te kacho layamaraname. Sahayojata nahidam re manava kabatu nijapa gananam. Without that stick, my body will crumble. Sahayojata nahigam. All the people I assisted in my lifetime, not one was there to assist me. Kanana sune nainana suje Kanana sune nainana suje Dat bhaye re kamre manava Dat bhaye re kam. I lost my ability to hear. I have lost my ability to see. Data baye kam. All the teeth in my mouth has fallen out. But that used to happen a long time. They don't fall out again. You have to go by the dentist for him to pull it out. And he just pull out all. Gar kinari vimukha hoye jayati. Gar kinari vimukha hoye bayati. Putra karata Baranam manava Putra karata baranam. There's always confusion in the house. Between husband and wife. Always confusion. Putra kahata baranam. That the children are always in the center of that controversy. Briddha ye bodha barabarat gai. Briddha ye bodha barabarat gai. Atapata adava jamre manava. Atapata adava jam. When you become old in that house, you'll be mumbling holy and nobody won't be taking you on. Talking holy and nobody listening to you. Atapata adava jam. If that is the life you really want to live, that is not a life. Katiya me bhoye pardhari hai ke. Katiya me bhoye pardhari hai ke. Chota jaye dhanadhamre manava. Chota jaye dhanadham. In the house, people are telling you, I will do nothing for you. Chuta jaye dhanadam. Who you give your money and learn anything to, let them mind you. Kahata kabira suno bhaiye sadho. Kahata kabira suno bhaiye sadho. Jama se pari hai kamre manava. Jama se pari hai kam. Kabir Das says, O devotees of God, listen. Jama so pari hai kam. The suffering that you will meet when you meet Jamraj is not a nice thing. Avoid going there. Avoid that place. There is a no entry. Keep far from that place. When he did a Shiv Puran, he took out the word Ganesh and he put Shiva. When he do Ramayana, he took out the word Shiva and he put Ram. When he do Bhagavad, he took out that word and he put Krishna. And he applied that for over 60 years. Devotees, we will stop there for tonight. And before we ask the group to give us a bhajan, one of my cousins is here, Pandit Krishna. I would ask him to say a few words, and then we'll have a bhajan and the arati.
Prince Bolo Sri Ganesh Bhagwan ki Jai. Pranam Baba. Sitaram to all of you. I'm indeed very blessed to be in the presence of Panditji and you wonderful devotees. Indeed, it was a wonderful experience to listen. You know, sometimes we don't always get the time to listen. We have to talk a lot. And one of the features of Ganesh Baba is big ears. So you listen a lot, speak less. For a few moments, let's focus again upon that divine form of Bhagwan Sri Ganesh as we do prarthana. Thinking of the divine form, we pray that Bhagwan, may you accept our prayer, bless our mind, our thought, intellect, bless Panditji and all the wonderful devotees that are here. May you extend blessing to all your creation, we pray. Harihi Om Namaste Gananathaya Gananam Pataye Namaha Bhakti Priyaya Devesha Bhaktabhya Sukhadayaka Svanandavasine Tubhyam Siddhi Buddhi Varaya Cha Nabhisheshaya Devaya Dhundhirajaya Te Namaha Matripitre Cha Sarvesha Hirambhaya Namo Namaha Anadhye Cha Bighanesha Bighanakatre Namo Namaha Om Mangalam Ganesha Bhagavan Mangalam Musha-Vahanam Mangalam Siddhidataram Mangalam Gananayaka. Prem Sublo Sri Ganesh Bhagwan ki Jai.
Gajavadana
Gajavadana Vinayaka
Gajavadana Gananata Gajavadana Vinayaka
Gajavadana Gananata Gajavadana Vinayaka Siti Vyata Shivatanaya
Siti Virata Shivatanaya
Siti Vyata Shivatanaya
Buddhi Pradayaka Gajanana
Buddhi Pradayaka Gajanana Parvati Nandana Bhava Bhaya Bhajana
Yuga Yuga Vandita Jai Shri Ganesha
Yuga Yuga Vandita Jai Shri Ganesha
Yuga Yuga
दया
बुद्धि प्रदायक
गजानना
पार्वती नंदन युग युग वंदित जय श्री गणेश युग युग वंदित जय श्री गणेश
Bolo Shri Ganesh and Bhagavan ki jai. All will stand as we join together and sing in the Aarti. Om Jai Ganapati Deva. Om Jai Ganapati Deva. Prabhu Jai Ganapati Deva. Vigana Vinashana Swami. Vigana Vinashana Swami. Sukha Sampati Deva. Om Jai Parvati Putra Kahavo Shankar Sutta Swami Prabhu Shankar Sutta Swami Gajananda Gananayak Gajananda Gananayak Bhaktanayanugami Om Jai
Ganapati Deva
Redi Sedi Ke Malik Moshak Yasvari Prabhu Moshak Yasvari Kar jore vinati karai Kar jore vinati karai Ananda Yusvari Om Jai
Ganapati Deva
Prathama aapko puja Shubh Mangal Data Prabhu Shubh Mangal Data Siddhi ho ye sab karaj Siddhi ho ye sab
Karaj
Daridra hata jata Om Jai
Ganapati Deva
Sonda sonda la donda donda la Mastak par chanda Prabhu
Mastak par chanda
Karaj siddh karavo Karaj siddh karavo Kato sab panda
Om Jai Ganapati Deva
गणपति जी की आरती जो कोई नर गावे प्रभु जो कोई
गावे
दादू का कहवावती दादू का कहवावती निश दिन सुख पावे ओम जय गणपति देवा
गणपति देवा प्रभु जय गणपति देवा विघ्न विनाशन स्वामी विघ्न विनाशन स्वामी सुख संपत्ति देवा ओम जय
गणपति देवा ओम जय गणपति देवा
ओम जय गणपति देवा
ओम त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देवा ॐ शान्ति 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 हरि ओम। बोलो श्री गणेश भगवान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, सियापति रामचंद्र की जय, जगत जननी श्री दुर्गा माता की जय, बोलो सनातन धर्म की जय। Devotees, you may kindly take your seats.